Hey guys, Ashley with Country Roots Farm here today. I'm out here throwing out some seed for some grass on the land that we scraped up. But I wanted to talk to y'all about buying raw land and some tips that we have after going through this. Y'all, so I started throwing these seeds out by hand because I could not get this thing to cooperate with me. I'm using the Expert Gardener. I got it on clearance at Walmart for $3, and then I was like, well, now I know why it was on clearance, because it doesn't work. It has an adjustment on the side of the handle, in case you haven't used this before, which clearly I have not. So one basically opens a little window in here, pretty much nothing. So if you can see, like 5 seeds fall out. Or I turned it all the way up, and now I can throw out a ton of seeds, and it actually works. So much better. Okay, so number 1 would be to decide the size of land that you need. So kind of like deciding what size house that you need. Instead, you're looking at how many acres. When we first started looking at land, we were looking at like 10 acres. And we were like, 10 acres is massive. It'll give us everything that we want. It'll be great. And then we kind of started thinking about all the things that we want to do on the land, like grow Christmas trees, which is going to take up probably around 5 acres. We want to also have a big garden and have a small orchard and grow berries and have chickens and goats and all of the things. So we were like, 10 acres might actually not be so big. And you're putting so much into the land and you're investing so much into the land that you don't want to be like, this actually isn't where we can build everything we want. You know, that would kind of suck. So we were looking at it and we were like, well, 10 acres sounds really big. We're probably going to outgrow it. So we need to search for probably something more. So we started looking in the 15 to 20 acre parcels, and we ended up finding the perfect one. So pays to be patient. Which brings us to number 2. So being patient led us to getting a lot more bang for our buck. So if we would have ended up on some of the parcels that we looked at before this, they were smaller and they cost more. Crazy, right? But we decided that before selling our house, we wanted to go ahead and have our land so that we weren't in that push of we don't have anywhere to stay, we're ready to get started, we're really eager, so let's just go for this one. So instead, we shopped over for probably a year and a half, close to 2 years, somewhere in that time frame, to make sure that we got what we were looking for, because we were going to invest so much into this place, so many years and blood, sweat, and tears, and we didn't want it to end up being something that we're like, I wish we would have waited a little bit longer and found this piece. So we're really happy with being patient. Which brings us to number 3. So you want to sit down and make a list of things that you really want to have on your land. Was this 20 acres the easiest parcel that we looked at? Absolutely not. We looked at complete bare raw fields. Those would have been easier. But I kind of love having trees, and I love having a barrier of trees between us and the road when we only have 2 neighbors. So it's not like, you know, a bunch of traffic or anything, but I love the privacy feel of it. Also that I feel like it's more customizable. I can turn this into whatever I want. Is it a lot more work? Absolutely. So that might not be right for you. So writing down some things that you want. I love a good creek, and when we came here and found out that it has a creek on it, I also have always loved old homes, like old homesteads, and even as a kid didn't understand what trespassing was, would go into them all the time and just be like, this is the coolest thing ever. Never thought I'd have the opportunity to own one, so the fact that this property has one on it was even more exciting, and just felt like this was home already. And then when we went to closing, obviously the location matters, so we timed this out. We could go anywhere around our jobs that were like 30 to 40 minutes away, so boom, got it. And then the other thing, when we went to closing, we found out there's actually a natural spring on the property that we didn't know about, and then it was just like, this is perfect, this is meant to be. So write down your must-haves, find exactly what you're looking for and what you need, so that way you make sure you don't settle for maybe something that's not quite right when you're going to put so much into it. All right, and that brings us to number 4. So number 4 is getting the septic and well permits before you close on the land. So you would think, hey, I'm buying 20 acres, 10 acres, whatever. Of course it's going to perk. Well, is it going to perk in the area that you want to put a house? Is it going to perk for the size that you want the house? And if it's not, you want to know that ahead of time, because it might not be the perfect property for you. For instance, we have friends that bought property for a beautiful location, and I think they wouldn't change it, but they had a really big struggle to get water there. So they weren't approved for a well, and to bring in the water, it costs $176,000. I don't want to sign up for that. You feel free to sign up for that if you want to, but I would rather know before I even got started that I can get a well and septic, everything will be fine, this is where I want to put the house, and it's already approved. So that was a big thing for us. Okay, also I wanted to add real quick to that you can put that as part of your contract. Okay, so while we're talking about contracts, let's talk about number 5, which is financing. So obviously it's harder to get a loan on acreage, and the reason is because it's more risk for the bank. You know, if you foreclose on your home has value, it sells quicker. Land with nothing on it is a big risk for the bank, because they're counting on you paying your bill, because it's probably going to sit on the market forever should it go to foreclosure. So looking at who you can get finance through, so a lot of local banks can potentially be good mortgagers for you. But what we found was Ag South, and I hadn't even heard of Ag South before, but they do loans on raw land, and they were so easy to work with. I would highly recommend them. We have had no problems. Our rate is great. Closing was very smooth, and you have to know that you have to put down, okay, so just know that you have to put down between 15 to 20% of the purchase price. So that also will play into your budget of how much you can afford, or maybe waiting a little bit longer to get the money to get the down payment for the land that you want. So just patience is key in all of this. And number 6 is just to go for it. So yes, you're gonna have questions. Yes, you're gonna not know things. Feel free to leave comments if you have questions. Of course, if there's anything I can answer, I would love to help you guys reach your goals and your dreams. Know that it's going to be a lot of work, and it's going to be absolutely worth it, because what you will have is this little oasis where all of the things that you can think that you want to do are capable of being done. You just have to put your mind to it. So you got this. Let me know if you have any problems or questions, and if you really like this video, please like and subscribe. And I'm gonna go finish throwing out some grass seed. We'll see you later.